The hammer slipped from my sweaty grip, clattering against the hardwood floor like a gunshot in the quiet afternoon haze. I froze, heart pounding, as Jamie's voice cracked from the next room. "Mom, you can't just say that after all these years," and the weight of unspoken truths crashed over me like the summer storm brewing outside our small Brooklyn brownstone. In that split second, I realized the walls we'd come to tear down weren't just plaster and paint. They held secrets that could shatter everything I thought I knew about love, loss, and the woman I'd been too afraid to admit I was falling for. I wiped my brow with the back of my hand, the scent of fresh sawdust and old varnish clinging to my skin like a second layer. Jamie and I had been best friends since freshman year at NYU, bonded over late-night study sessions fueled by cheap coffee and dreams of escaping our respective small-town shadows. She was the spark, vibrant, unapologetic, with that laugh that could light up the dimmest lecture hall.
Me?
Alex Rivera, 25, perpetual overthinker, the one who showed up with tools and a playlist of indie folk to drown out the chaos. When she texted me last week, "Renovating the family house before mom sells it. Need your muscles. Pretty please?" I didn't hesitate. Helping her fix up the place her dad left behind after the divorce felt like the least I could do. Little did I know it would unravel me. We'd started in the living room that morning, sunlight slanting through cracked blinds onto faded floral wallpaper that peeled like old skin. Jamie, in her cut-off shorts and a tank top that hugged her curves just enough to make my stomach flip, handed me a crowbar with a grin. "This place is a time capsule, Alex. Dad hated change, but Mom, she's ready to burn it all." Her voice carried that edge, the one that surfaced whenever Elena was mentioned. Elena Vasquez, the poised high school English teacher who'd raised Jamie alone after the split, always with a quiet grace that hid storms I could only guess at. I'd met her a handful of times. Warm hugs, plates of arroz con pollo, stories of Jamie's childhood antics, but there was always something in her eyes, a flicker of melancholy that mirrored my own hidden aches. As we pried at the baseboards, dust motes danced in the air like fireflies, and Jamie chattered about her latest graphic design gig, her hands gesturing wildly. "Imagine it, open concept, big windows, a space where I can actually breathe." I nodded, forcing a smile, but my mind wandered to the way her hair fell across her neck when she bent to measure a wall, the faint freckles dusting her shoulders from too many rooftop barbecues. God, Alex, get it together. She's your friend. Your straight, amazing, completely oblivious friend. I'd buried those feelings deep since college, after that one drunken kiss at a party we both pretended never happened. "Remember that?" She'd laughed it off the next morning. "Weird, right?"
Yeah, weird.
By noon, sweat soaked through my tea, and we broke for sandwiches on the sagging front porch. The neighborhood hummed with the rhythm of New York, kids on bikes, distant sirens, the low rumble of the subway beneath our feet. Jamie kicked her legs against the railing, munching on turkey and Swiss. Mom's coming by later with paint samples. She thinks I'm rushing it, but whatever. This house. It's like holding on to ghosts. Her tone softened, and I reached out, squeezing her knee without thinking. Her skin was warm, sun-kissed, and for a heartbeat, neither of us moved. Then she pulled away with a playful shove.
Sap.
Pass the chips. Elena arrived as the sun dipped lower, her silver-streaked bob impeccable even in the humidity, arms laden with canvas bags from the hardware store. "Ms. Amores," she called, her accent a soft lilt from her Puerto Rican roots, kissing our cheeks with a scent of jasmine lotion. At 52, she was a vision of quiet strength, tailored blouse over jeans, laugh lines framing eyes that sparkled with mischief. "Jamie, you haven't touched the crown molding yet? Ay, Dios, give me that roller." We laughed, falling into easy rhythm, but I caught the way her gaze lingered on the family photos lining the mantel, a younger Elena, radiant in a sundress, arm around a man who must have been Jamie's dad, and tucked behind, a faded snapshot of two women, arms linked, grinning at some long-lost beach. The afternoon blurred into a frenzy of primer coats and spackle, music blasting from Jamie's portable speaker, Phoebe Bridgers crooning about quiet longing. I was up on the ladder, edging the ceiling, when I heard them in the kitchen. Low voices at first, then rising like the tide. Jamie, Mija, you can't keep pretending. This house isn't just bricks, it's me, all of me. Elena's words, laced with a tremor I'd never heard. Jamie's reply, sharp as shattered glass. Pretending? Mom, Dad left because of your secrets. You think I want that mess? My brush stilled, paint dripping onto the drop cloth below. Secrets. The word hung heavy, pulling me down the ladder like gravity itself. I hovered in the doorway, heart in my throat, pretending to fetch water. Elena stood at the sink, back rigid, while Jamie paced, fists clenched. It's not a mess, it's who I am. Or who I was. Elena turned, her face a mask cracking at the edges. I loved her, Jamie. Your tia Rosa wasn't just my sister-in-law.
She was.
Everything. Before your father, before the lies I told to fit into this perfect little life. Jamie stopped dead, color draining from her cheeks.
What?
You and Aunt Rosa? That's impossible. Dad would've. Your father knew, Elena cut in, voice steady now, eyes glistening. He forgave or tried to. But I never forgave myself for hiding it, for letting fear win. The room spun. Aunt Rosa, Jamie's fiery aunt who'd passed when we were kids, the one with stories of wild adventures in San Juan and a laugh that echoed like thunder. I'd always admired her from afar, the way she'd wink at me during family dinners, like she saw right through my guarded smiles. And now this. Elena and Rosa, lovers in the shadows of a conservative family, their passion buried under layers of duty and denial. Jamie sank into a chair, whispering, "Why tell me now?" Elena knelt before her, hands cupping her daughter's face. "Because you're tearing down these walls, Mija. And I can't let you build new ones around your heart. Whoever she is. Don't hide." I did, and it cost me everything.
She.
The word pierced me, sharp and sweet. Jamie's eyes flicked to mine across the room, wide with shock, and in that gaze, I saw it. The mirror of my own buried truth. The renovation had just begun, but the real work? That was ripping open wounds we'd both ignored for years. As Elena rose, brushing past me with a soft, knowing smile. "Alex, me soul, join us for dinner?" I nodded, throat tight. The air hummed with possibility, electric as the storm finally breaking outside, rain lashing the windows like applause for truths finally spoken. Dinner was a tense affair, the three of us around the scarred oak table under the hum of a single bulb. Elena had whipped up bistec and cebollado, the sizzle of onions filling the air with comfort even as the conversation skirted the edges of revelation. Jamie picked at her plate, her usual chatter replaced by fidgety silence, while I shoveled food to avoid eye contact, my mind replaying Elena's words like a looped track. Loved her. Everything. The steak turned to ash in my mouth. How many times had I lain awake, imagining Jamie's hand in mine, only to wake to the cold slap of reality? She dated guys, nice ones mostly, but fleeting. And me? A string of awkward apps and coffee dates that fizzled because no one measured up to the ghost of what if. Elena, ever the bridge builder, steered us gently. This house, it saw it all. Rosa and I, we stole moments in the attic, whispering dreams while the world slept downstairs. Her voice softened, eyes distant. She taught me to paint. Wild colors, no apologies. That's why I brought the samples today. For you, Jamie, to claim it. Jamie's fork clattered. Claim what? A life of sneaking around? What if? She stopped, glancing at me, cheeks blooming pink. Elena reached across, her fingers tracing Jamie's knuckles. What if it's beautiful? What if it's yours? The room fell quiet, save for the patter of rain, and I felt it then, a pull, magnetic, drawing Jamie's gaze back to mine. Her lips parted, as if to speak, but instead, she stood abruptly. I need air. Alex? Walk with me? We stepped onto the porch, the downpour a curtain beyond the overhang, streetlights blurring into halos. Jamie leaned against the railing, arms wrapped tight around herself, the damp air curling her hair into tendrils. That was insane. Mom and Aunt Rosa? I mean, I always knew they were close, but this? Her voice cracked, and I stepped closer, close enough to feel the heat radiating from her. It's a lot, I murmured, my hand brushing her arm. She didn't pull away. Instead, she turned, eyes searching mine in the dim light. Alex, you've been my rock through all this crap. But lately, I don't know. When you look at me, it's like you see me. Really see me. My breath hitched. The rain drummed louder, drowning my pulse. Jamie, but she closed the distance, her lips crashing into mine with the force of pent-up storms, soft and urgent, tasting of salt and possibility. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, the world narrowing to the space between us. I've wanted that since college, she whispered, a laugh bubbling through tears. That kiss? It wasn't weird. It was everything. Relief flooded me, warm as sunlight after rain, but doubt nipped at its heels. Your mom. The house. Are we just caught up in the chaos? She cupped my face, thumb tracing my jaw.
No.
This is us. Finally. We kissed again, slower, the porch light casting our shadows long and entwined, as thunder rolled distant approval. Back inside, Elena waited with wine glasses, her smile enigmatic. The walls are listening tonight, she said simply, pouring deep red into crystal. We toasted, to revelations, to renovations of the heart, and as the evening waned, Jamie's hand found mine under the table, fingers lacing like they'd always belonged. But sleep evaded me that night on the lumpy guest bed, the house creaking like it held its breath. Elena's story echoed, a cautionary symphony. Love like ours could bloom in secret gardens, but secrets had thorns. How long before the world outside these walls demanded its due? The next morning dawned sticky and golden, sunlight piercing the lace curtains like accusatory fingers. I woke to the scent of coffee brewing downstairs, Jamie's side of the bed empty but warm, a note scrawled on the nightstand. Pancakes. Don't hog the syrup. Jay, hugs and kisses. My chest ached with a joy so fierce it bordered on terror. Last night's kiss replayed in fragments, her breath hitching, the rain's rhythm syncing with our heartbeats. Was this real? Or just the alchemy of dust and disclosure turning friends into something more? Downstairs, Jamie flipped flapjacks at the stove, hips swaying to a half-remembered tune on the radio, her tank top riding up to reveal the dimples at her lower back. Elena sat at the table, newspapers spread before her, but her eyes crinkled with amusement. Morning, lovebirds, she teased, no malice in it, just the warmth of someone who'd walked this path before. Jamie spun, spatula in hand, cheeks flushing. Mom, but she beamed, sliding a plate my way piled high, with golden stacks. I caught her wrist as she passed, pulling her down for a quick peck that drew a wolf whistle from Elena. Get used to it, she said, winking. Life's too short for blushes. Over breakfast, plans solidified. Tackle the attic today, that dusty area where Elena's memories lingered thickest. Full of junk, Jamie grumbled, but her excitement bubbled. Visions of exposed beams, a reading nook with string lights. I volunteered to haul boxes, anything to keep moving, to outrun the questions swirling in my head.
What now?
Labels?
Coming out?
The word girlfriend danced on my tongue, foreign and thrilling. As we climbed the pull-down stairs, the air grew thick with mothballs and forgotten time, beams groaning under our weight. The attic was a labyrinth of cardboard tombs, yellowed letters tied with ribbon, hatboxes brimming with sepia photos, a trunk spilling silk scarves in jewel tones. Jamie dove in with glee, unearthing a porcelain doll with cracked cheeks. Creepy. Mom's childhood. Elena, trailing up behind, chuckled. No, that's Rosa's. She collected oddities, said they held stories. Her fingers trailed the doll's lace dress, eyes softening. We'd hide up here, planning escapes to Paris or the Keys. Foolish dreams. Jamie paused, a bundle of letters in hand. These yours? Elena nodded, taking them gently.
Ours.
She wrote like poetry, even in grocery lists. I watched them, mother and daughter bridging chasms with whispers, and felt a pang for my own mom back in Ohio, who'd hug me tight but never understand this bend in my road. As Jamie rummaged deeper, she unearthed a sketchbook, pages warped but vibrant, charcoal portraits of women laughing, hands intertwined, one unmistakably Elena, younger, fierce-eyed. Whoa, Jamie breathed, flipping pages. You drew this? Elena's laugh was bittersweet. Rosa did. She saw the artist in me, even when I didn't. The air hummed with ghosts, and Jamie's hand found mine amid the clutter, squeezing. Like how you see me, she murmured, low enough for only me. We spent hours sorting, laughter punctuating the labor, Jamie's mock horror at a taxidermy squirrel, my discovery of a hidden compartment yielding a locket with twin lockets of hair, dark and auburn, like echoes of us. But as noon arched overhead, tension crept in. Jamie unearthed a shoebox of tapes, labeled in faded marker. R&E mixtapes 89 to 95. Elena's face paled. Leave those, Mija. But curiosity won. Jamie popped one into an ancient boombox we'd dragged up, and crackled static gave way to a sultry saxophone, followed by Rose's voice, husky and teasing. Elena Mirena, if you're listening, know I'm dancing for you under these stars. The attic shrank, time folding in on itself. Elena sank onto a trunk, tears tracing silent paths. She recorded them during her trips, kept me company. Jamie knelt beside her, tape whirring on. Why hide this? It's beautiful. Elena's voice broke. Because beautiful things break easy. Your father. He found one once. The fights, the ultimatums. I chose safety over her. Regret hung heavy, and I slipped out, giving them space, descending to the kitchen where sunlight pooled like spilled honey. Pacing the linoleum, I poured coffee with shaking hands, the music filtering down like a siren's call. My phone buzzed, a text from my sister. Mom asks when you're visiting. Bring a boy? Winking face, the emoji twisted like a knife. Out here in Brooklyn, with Jamie's laughter echoing above, I felt miles from that world, but the pull was there, insistent. What would they say? Hell, what would Jamie's extended family say, those tios with their machismo and rosaries? I scrolled old photos, me and Jamie at Pride last year, arms slung casual, rainbows on our cheeks. She'd gone for me. Solidarity, babe. Now it felt prophetic. Footsteps creaked. Jamie appeared, eyes red-rimmed but clear. She's okay. Sharing hurts, but freeing. She crossed to me, hands framing my face. And us? This isn't just attic magic, right? I pulled her close, her heartbeat syncing with mine.
No.
It's real. Scary real. Our kiss deepened, hands roaming with newfound boldness, until Elena's cough from the stairs broke the spell. Lunch, girls. And Jamie, keep those tapes. They're yours now. Afternoon brought painting, the attic walls a canvas for fresh starts, roller strokes in soft sage green erasing decades of dust. Elena regaled us with sanitized tales of Rose's escapades, her voice gaining strength, while Jamie and I stole glances, brushes dipping in tandem. But as shadows lengthened, a call shattered the idyll. Jamie's cousin Marco, voice booming from the landline.
Tia Elena.
Family reunion next month, bringing the whole crew. Jamie, you in? Elena's grip tightened on the receiver. Of course, Mijo. We'll be there.
Click.
The air soured. Jamie groaned. Great. Uncle Rico's sermons on traditional values. Elena's jaw set. We'll face it together. All of us. Her eyes included me. A quiet alliance forged. Dinner that night was subdued, but Jamie's foot nudged mine under the table, a promise. As we cleared plates, she whispered, "Stay tonight?" "All night." Heat bloomed low in my belly. "Try and stop me." Upstairs, the guest room became sanctuary, moonlight silvering the quilts as we explored each other with whispers and touches, learning curves and sighs. Jamie's skin was silk under my fingers, her gasps poetry in the dark. "I love you, Alex," she breathed against my neck, and the words unlocked something primal, tears mingling with laughter. Afterward, tangled in sheets, she traced patterns on my arm. "Mom's story. It makes this feel destined." But doubt lingered in the quiet. "What about the reunion? The family?" She kissed my temple. "We'll tell them. Or we won't. But we won't hide." Sleep came fitful, dreams weaving Rose's voice with Elena's warnings, until a crash jolted me awake, downstairs in the night. Jamie bolted upright. "What the hell?" We threw on robes, racing down, heart hammering. Elena stood in the living room, shards of a vase at her feet, face ashen. I tripped. But her eyes darted to the mantel, where the beach photo of her and Rosa lay face down, cracked glass spiderwebbing the frame. "It's nothing," she insisted, but Jamie knelt, writing it gently.
"Mom.
"Talk to us." Elena sank to the couch, the weight of midnight confessions pressing down. "Seeing you too. It stirs it all up. The guilt. Rosa died, thinking I chose him over us." Her voice fractured. "But I chose survival. For you, Jamie." Tears flowed free now, and Jamie enveloped her, rocking gently.
"You survived. And now?"
"We thrive." I joined them, arms around both, a triad of fractured hearts mending in the dim lamplight. The storm had passed, but tempests brewed, family storms, inner ones. Yet in that huddle, I glimpsed the unbreakable, love, unapologetic, rewriting the blueprint. Dawn crept in hesitant, painting the living room in pinks and golds that softened the vase's wreckage. We three lingered over coffee, the cracked photo propped on the mantel like a talisman, Rosa's grin defiant through the fissures. Elena's confession had stripped us bare, but in the vulnerability bloomed resolve. "No more hiding," Jamie declared, clinking her mug to mine. "Starting with the kitchen Reno. Got it today." Her energy was infectious, a shield against the night's ghosts, and I dove in, grateful for the distraction of demo day. Hammers swung in unison, drywall crumbling like defeated walls, revealing lath and wire veins of the house's skeleton. Dust billowed, coating our lungs, but we laughed through it, Jamie smearing a streak across my cheek, me retaliating with a flowery handful from the pantry raid. Elena supervised from a stool, directing with the precision of her classroom days, but her stories flowed freer now. Rosa's midnight serenades on guitar, stolen weekends in the Catskills where they'd hike trails hand in hidden hand. She called it our rebellion, Elena said, eyes bright. Against expectations, against fear. By midday, the kitchen stood gutted, a raw space of possibility, counters cleared for dreams. We broke for tacos from the truck down the block, sprawling on the porch steps, sauce dripping as laughter peaked. Jamie leaned into me, head on my shoulder, and Elena watched with a serenity that eased the knot in my chest. "You two remind me of us," she murmured. "That fire." Jamie's hand tightened on my thigh. "Good fire?" Elena nodded. "The kind that warms, not burns, if you feed it right." Afternoon waned into wiring woes. Me on a ladder, splicing cables while Jamie held the light, our banter a lifeline. "Careful, Sparky," she teased. "Don't short-circuit my heart." I grinned down, but a spark, literal, flared, singeing my sleeve.
"Shit."
Pain bloomed, minor but sharp, and Jamie was there in an instant, cool cloth from the sink, her touch tender as she bandaged the blister. "Hero," I joked, but her eyes held mine serious. "Always." Elena bustled in with salve, fussing like a mother hen, and the moment passed into practicality. Yet it lingered, that protectiveness, weaving us tighter. As dusk fell, We fired up the grill on the back patio, a makeshift victory feast of burgers and corn, stars pricking the urban sky. Wine flowed, loosening tongues, Elena's tales turning playful, Rosa's quirks immortalized in punchlines. Jamie shared her own sketches from the attic book, doodles of us now mingling with the past, me wielding a paintbrush like a sword, her lounging amid chaos. "Our story," she said, passing the book. I traced the lines, heart swelling. But then her phone lit up, Marco again, voicemail. "Hey, cuz, reunion deets." And, "Tia, Dad's asking about that old photo. The one with Rosa. Says it's inappropriate for the display. Call back." The air chilled. Elena's fork stilled. Inappropriate. The word dripped venom, and Jamie's jaw clenched. Screw that. It's family history. I squeezed her knee under the table, but Elena rose, pacing. "Your uncle. He never knew the full truth. Blamed Rosa for influencing me after the divorce. Lies to protect his pride." Anger flickered in her eyes, rare and raw. Jamie stood too, fire matching fire. "Then we tell him. All of it." Elena shook her head.
Not yet.
The reunion's a minefield, abuelas with their judgments, cousins whispering. "I won't drag you into that storm." The argument simmered, voices rising like the grill's smoke, until Jamie stormed inside, door slamming. Elena sank back, deflated. "She's right, but I'm scared, Alex. For her. For you both." I nodded, throat tight. "Fear's the real demo job. We gotta swing the hammer." She smiled faintly, clasping my hand. "You're good for her. For us." I found Jamie in the attic, curled amid boxes, knees to chest. "Hey," I whispered, settling beside her. She leaned in, tears wetting my shirt. "I hate this. The hiding. Mom suffered for it. Why repeat?" We talked for hours, moon climbing high, unraveling threads. My closeted high school crushes, her college flings that felt wrong because they weren't me. "That kiss," she said. "I replayed it 1,000 times. But I thought you didn't." I kissed her then, slow and sure, hands in her hair. "I did. Always." Clothes shed in whispers, we made love amid the relics, bodies arching like the house's beams, gasps echoing Rose's tapes. It was reverence, reclamation, love not in shadows, but spotlit. Morning brought uneasy truce. Elena knocked with breakfast trays, her apology a peace offering of fresh empanadas. "We'll face Marco together," she conceded. "But on our terms." Jamie nodded, pulling me into a group hug that smelled of pastry and promise. The day blurred into plumbing, pipes groaning like reluctant confessions, water finally flowing clear and cold. Success fueled us, but undercurrents pulled. A call from my mom, probing, seeing anyone special? That I dodged with half-truths, guilt gnawing. Evening found us on the roof, a stolen perch accessed by the attic ladder, city lights sprawling like a glittering confession. Jamie uncorked a bottle of Merlot, passing it to Elena. To Rosa. To us. Toasts rang out, and stories cascaded. Elena's first love letter, smuggled in a lunchbox. Jamie's secret journal entries about the girl with the laugh like summer. My turn came hesitant. "I came out to my sister last year."
Mom.
"Not yet. But watching you, Elena, it gives me courage." Pride shone in their eyes, and Jamie's kiss sealed it, soft under the stars. But as we descended, a shadow loomed, headlights sweeping the drive. Marco's truck unannounced, him stepping out broad-shouldered, beer in hand. "Surprise visit. Heard you're fixing up. Thought I'd lend a hand." His grin was easy, but Elena stiffened. "Me, Joe, late notice." He clapped Jamie's back too hard. "Family first, right? What's this?" Eyeing the cracked photo on the mantel. Tension coiled like a spring. Jamie stepped forward, my hand in hers hidden behind. "That's Aunt Rosa. And Mom's story. Want to hear it?" Marco's brow furrowed. "Story? Like what? Old gossip?" Elena drew breath, but Jamie beat her.
Love.
"Real love. The kind that doesn't fit boxes. His laugh boomed, uneasy. Come on, kiddo. Save the drama. But doubt flickered, and as he lumbered inside, regaling with football tales, I saw the fracture lines, family's fragile facade. Night deepened, Marco crashing on the couch, and in bed, Jamie clung tight. That was close, she whispered. But we didn't break. No, but the pressure built, a fault line waiting to shift. Marco's snores rumbled through the floorboards like distant thunder, a reminder that invasions came in all forms. I lay awake, Jamie's breath steady against my neck, her body a warm anchor in the uncertainty. His arrival felt like intrusion, a preview of the reunion's gauntlet, probing questions, sidelong glances, the weight of unspoken expectations. Yet in the dark, her fingers traced my hip, a silent vow. We wouldn't yield. Morning cracked open with forced cheer, Elena in the kitchen, brewing cafecito strong enough to fortify armies, while Jamie and I set the table. Marco lumbered in, scratching his belly, oblivious to the undercurrents. Smells like home. What's the plan, team? Bedroom demo. His enthusiasm was genuine, if bulldozing, and we nodded, channeling energy into action. The upstairs hall became battlefield, furniture shuffled, floors sanded to gleaming bone. Marco swung a sledge with gusto, plaster flying, but his jokes veered. Back in my day, houses stayed put, like marriages. Elena's smile tightened. She excused herself to fetch supplies. Jamie caught my mid-swing, mouthing help, and I steered Marco toward the garage, tools clanging as diversion. So, man, Alex, you and Jamie thick as thieves since college, huh? His tone probed, casual but pointed. I hammered a loose board, words measured.
Yeah.
She's family. He chuckled.
Good. She needs that.
After the divorce, girls get ideas. My grip whitened on the mallet. Ideas. The word slithered, laced with implication, and I bit back retort. Visions of Elena's attic tapes fueling restraint. Ideas like independence? He waved it off. You know, running wild. Like that aunt of hers. Rosa. Wild card. The air thickened, opportunity glinting. What about her? I pressed, casual. Marco shrugged, wiping sweat. Trouble. Always dragging Elena into schemes. After she died, Tia changed, closed off. Blamed herself, I think. Insight cracked open, partial but potent. He didn't know the half, but grief's shadow touched all. Sounds complicated, I said, and he nodded, somber for a beat. Family is. But we stick. Solidarity unwitting, but it eased the knot. Perhaps bridges could build from ruins. Lunch interrupted, Elena returning with sandwiches and a steely calm. Conversation skirted shallows, sports, weather, until Marco's phone chirped, pulling him away for a quick call. Jamie exhaled, slumping. God, he's exhausting. Elena's hand covered hers. But blood. Remember that. Jamie's eyes met mine, fierce. So's chosen family. The words landed soft, profound, and Elena's nod was approval, a baton passed. Afternoon shifted to painting the bedroom, soft lavender walls, Jamie's pick for serenity amid storm. Rollers glided, colors blooming like bruises healing, and Marco, roped in, grumbled but complied, his broad strokes sloppy but earnest. Laughter crept back, paint fights erupting, speckles dotting noses, Elena capturing it on her phone with a for the album. In the melee, Jamie backed me against the wall, lips brushing my ear. You in paint? Irresistible. Heat flared, but Marco's whoop broke it. Hey, no fraternizing on my watch. His wink oblivious, buying us time. As sun dipped, Marco declared victory, cracking beers on the porch. This place'll shine. Proud of you, sis. Jamie clinked bottles, but her smile held edges. Talk turned to the reunion. Big bash, Tia's cooking the lechon, and Elena tensed. Marco, about the photo.
He waved.
Forget it, Ma. Dad's old school. We'll stick to baby pics. Deflection, but Jamie pushed. What if the stories aren't all sweet? Like Rosa's? His brow creased. Rosa? She was fun, but let's not dredge. Elena interjected, voice even. Dredging makes room for truth, Mijo. Silence stretched, taut, until he stood. Truth's overrated sometimes. Night, folks. He retreated early, truck rumbling away, leaving echoes. We three collapsed in the living room. Wine uncorked, the cracked frame between us like oracle. That went better than feared, Elena said, swirling her glass. Jamie snorted. Barely. But pride gleamed. We'd navigated unbowed. Stories unfurled again. Marco as kid, trailing Rosa like a puppy, her teaching him to fish while whispering, be kind secrets. He has a heart, Elena mused. Just buried. I shared my brother's tale, out and proud in Seattle, Mom's slow thaw via grandkids' rainbows. Time softens, I said. Jamie leaned into me. We've got that. Night deepened into intimacy. Jamie and I slipped upstairs, the bedroom's fresh paint scent mingling with our skin as we tumbled into bed, hands mapping familiar territories with renewed hunger. Her moans were music, body arching like a wave cresting, and in climax a shudder, she gasped, "Forever, Alex." Tears pricked, joy, fear intertwined. Afterward, whispers wove dreams, a shared apartment, travels to San Juan tracing Rosa's steps, rings someday under Brooklyn Oaks. But reality intruded, a text from my mom. Visit soon, Dad's asking. Guilt twisted, my silence a wall yet standing. Sleep evaded, pulling me downstairs for water. Elena sat in the kitchen, photo album open, fingers tracing Rosa's face. Can't sleep? She asked softly. I joined her, the chair creaking. Too much spinning. She poured tea, chamomile steam curling. Loves a renovation, Alex. Messy, costly, but worth it. Her eyes held wisdom's weight. Rosa said that. Before the end. I swallowed. How'd you know? With her, I mean. Elena smiled, sad sweet. The pull. Undeniable. Like gravity. Gravity. That described Jamie, orbiting my world. And regret? She closed the album. The only one is not choosing sooner. Don't wait. Her words lodged deep, catalyst. Dawn found us energized, tackling the bathroom, tiles pried, porcelain throne dethroned in a cacophony of progress. Marco texted, good times. Reunion RSVPs due. Pressure mounted, but Jamie's grin was armor. We're ready. Lunch was picnic style in the yard, blankets spread, Elena's stories of Puerto Rican beaches, lacing bites of fresh mango. Laughter flowed, but a shadow crossed, my phone, Mom calling. I stepped away, heart pounding. Alex? You sound off. Everything okay? Lies tumbled, busy with work. But her pause lingered. We miss you. Bring someone next time. Someone. The word ached. Afternoon brought unexpected ally. Marco returned unbidden, with a toolbox. Forgot my wrench. But, hey, about last night. He rubbed his neck. Awkward. Dad's photo beef. It's stupid. If it's important to you, Tia, frame it proud. Elena's eyes widened. Thank you, Mijo. He shrugged. Family sticks, right? Even the weird parts. Progress, incremental, and as he helped grout tiles, banter eased into brotherhood. Jamie squeezed my hand behind his back, victory small but sweet. Evening wove magic, bonfire in the pit, Esmore sticky, Elena reciting poetry, Puerto Rican verses of love defiant. Jamie and I danced slow to phantom music, bodies swaying, Marco clapping from his chair. You too, cute as hell. His toast was genuine, and for a moment, the world aligned. But as embers died, Jamie pulled me aside. Mom's pushing the reunion reveal. You in. Fear clawed. My own family untethered. Yes. But mine first. She nodded, kiss fierce. Team us. That night, lovemaking was urgent, bodies colliding like renovations clashing. Raw, rebuilding. Her cries echoed convictions, and in afterglow, plans solidified, calls tomorrow, truths cascading. Sleep claimed us entwined, but dreams stirred storms, family gatherings fracturing, faces turning. Yet waking to Jamie's smile, I knew we'd weather. The week blurred into a frenzy of finishes, cabinets hung, fixtures gleaming, the house transforming under our hands like a chrysalis cracking. Marco's visits became routine, his gruff acceptance a quiet balm, though the reunion loomed like thunderhead on horizon. Mornings started with Elena's cafecito circles, evenings with wine-soaked strategy sessions, Jamie's sketches evolving into blueprints of our future. A corner for her art, shelves for my books, a bed for us. Love nested in the mundane, but beneath pulsed the urgency, truths demanding air. I made the call to Mom midweek. Phone slick in my palm as I paced the freshly tiled bathroom, steam from a test shower fogging the mirror. Alex? Finally, her voice, warm Ohio twang, twisted the knife. Small talk flowed, Dad's garden, sister's baby kicks, until the pivot. So, dating anyone? Breath caught. Jamie hovered in the hall. Thumbs up.
Yeah, Mom.
Someone special. Pause, then a girl. Silence stretched, eternal, then a soft intake.
Oh, well.
Tell me about her. Relief crashed, words tumbling. Jamie's laugh, her strength, the way she saw me whole. Mom's questions came gentle, probing but not piercing. When do we meet her? Tears stung.
Soon.
Promise. Hanging up, Jamie enveloped me, her proud a mantra. Emboldened, we turned to the backyard, overgrown jungle tamed into patio paradise, string lights twinkling premature stars. Elena unearthed Rosa's old hammock from the shed, weathered but sturdy, swaying between oaks as we lounged that afternoon, beers sweating in the heat. She'd love this, Elena said, toes dangling. You too, her spirit lives. Jamie traced patterns in the dirt with a stick. Tell us more. The hard parts. Elena's gaze distant. The hiding wore us thin. Stolen glances at family dinners. Alibis for late nights. When I met your dad, it was escape, not love. But duty trapped me. Regret shadowed her, but Jamie's hand on hers lifted it. You're free now. Marco arrived unannounced again, hauling sod rolls. Figured you'd need green. His help was Herculean, muscles straining, jokes flying, but conversation deepened over cold ones as dusk fell. Heard you came out to your folks, Alex, he said, casual. Ballsy. I blinked. How? Jamie's sheepish grin. Texted him. Back up. He clinked bottles. Good. Reunion's gonna be lit, or litigious. But Tia? We're telling the olds about Rosa? Elena nodded, steel in her spine. All of it. Time. Marco's whoop echoed. Hell yeah. Uncle Rico can choke on a cigar. Night brought celebration. Elena's paella simmering, saffron gold under pot lights we'd installed. Dinner sprawled across the new counter, plates clattering, laughter cresting waves. Toasts to Rosa, to revelations, to the family redefining itself. Jamie's foot hooked mine under the island, a secret code, and later, in the hammock sway, we made love under canopy of leaves, crickets chorusing, her body a landscape I mapped with lips and whispers. Mine, she breathed, nails grazing. Always. Climax shattered stars, and in quiet, fear surfaced. Reunions in 2 weeks. Ready.
Her nod was vow.
The days accelerated, final touches frantic, trim nailed, hardware polished, the house reborn. My sister visited Saturday, arms full of paint swatches and hugs, meeting Jamie official. Sis, she's a keeper. Mom called nightly now, curiosity blooming. What's her favorite food? Does she like cats? Each query a brick in the bridge. Elena prepped her speech, words typed and tear-stained, Rosa's locket around her neck like armor. Marco rallied cousins via group chat, subtle priming. Family history drop incoming. Stay chill. But crack spidered, a voicemail from Uncle Rico, voice gruff. Elena, Marco says you're stirring old pots. Keep it clean for the kids. Elena played it on speaker, face ashen. Jamie fumed. Ass. I pulled her close. Will counter. Strategy session ensued. Roleplay the reveal. Laughter tempering nerves. And if they freak? Elena asked. We walk, Jamie said. Our terms. Pride swelled. This was us unyielding. Sunday Eve, the house complete. We toured it transformed. Open spaces breathing, walls whispering approval. Elena hung the repaired photo in the living room, glass flawless, Rosa and her beaming eternal. To new chapters, she toasted, glasses chiming. Dinner was intimate, just us four, Marco included, his presence solid. Stories looped, my coming out call, Elena's first post-divorce dance, Jamie's college kiss confession to him over beers. Knew then, he admitted. Told her to go for it. Tears flowed, joyful, and as night deepened, Jamie and I retreated to the roof, city pulse below. There, under Meteor Streak, she knelt, not with ring, but with a key, attic found, engraved R&E forever.
For our door, she said.
Whenever. Kiss sealed it, salty sweet, and we dreamed aloud. Road trip to Puerto Rico, tracing Rosa's beaches, a commitment ceremony in the backyard, lights twinkling. But reality nipped. Reunion tomorrow. Last prep? Her hand in mine. Locked and loaded. Sleep was fitful, dreams of fractured tables, but waking to Jamie's kiss grounded me. Breakfast buzzed, outfits chosen, lines rehearsed. Marco picked us up in his truck, cab crammed with anticipation. The drive to Queens blurred, radio humming ballads of lost loves found. Team Vasquez Rivera, he dubbed, and laughter eased the coil. The community center loomed, cars packing lots, abuelas in floral prints, kids chasing balloons. Inside, aromas assaulted, pernil roasting, platanos frying, voices overlapping in Spanglish symphony. We clustered near the dessert table, Elena's locket glinting, Jamie's hand sweaty in mine. Marco clapped backs priming. Big announcement soon. Whispers rippled. Uncle Rico approached, cigar stub clenched, eyes narrowing on our linked hands. What's this? Elena stepped forward, voice clear. Family, we gathered to celebrate. But today, truths too. The room hushed as she spoke. Rosa's love, her own. The years stolen by silence. Gasps, murmurs. But Marco's nod steadied. Auntie's right. Love's love. Eyes turned to us. Jamie squeezing my hand, then releasing to pull me close. And this is ours. Alex and me. Shock rippled, but claps followed. Abuelas crossing themselves then hugging, cousins toasting salute. Rico grumbled but raised his glass, to complicated hearts. Joy erupted, dancing spontaneous, Elena twirling with ghosts and us. Outside, under parking lot stars, Jamie kissed me fierce. We did it. Liberation tasted like freedom, the house waiting miles away, walls strong with stories. The reunion's afterglow lingered like smoke from Rico's cigar, a hazy triumph that propelled us homeward in Marco's truck, laughter ricocheting off windows. Elena replayed moments, your abuela's face, priceless, while Jamie's head rested on my shoulder, her fingers drumming rhythms of relief on my knee. We survived, she murmured. Thrived. Marco glanced back, grinning.
You owed me, though.
That pernil was killer. We owed more, his quiet advocacy, the text chain priming allies, but family debts were paid in presents, not IOUs. Back at the brownstone, the house welcomed us transformed. Lights aglow, air scented with fresh varnish and victory. We collapsed into a pile on the new sectional, pizza ordered as fuel, recounting the chaos. Cousin Lila's tearful, I knew about Rosa. Tio Carlos is awkward, as long as you're happy. Elena's eyes shone. Rosa would have danced all night. Jamie raised a slice.
To her.
To us. Cheers echoed, and as slices dwindled, Marco bowed out. Got a wife to face, leaving us three in candlelit hush. Jamie and I retreated upstairs, the bedroom a sanctuary of lavender calm, but energy crackled, post-battle high demanding release. Clothes pooled like shed skins, bodies colliding with grateful urgency, her nails raking paths of possession, my lips mapping claims. Love you, she gasped, cresting, and I followed, world narrowing to her pulse. After, tangled in sheets, plans bubbled. Move in? Official? I nodded, key from the hammock burning in my pocket. Tomorrow we shop beds. Laughter muffled in kisses, but sleep brought dreams. Mom's voice, approving, blending with Rose's tapes. Morning sunlight slanted through blinds, gilding dust motes in gold. Elena knocked with trays, huevos rancheros, her ritual send-off. For the lovebirds' lair, she teased, but her hug lingered. Proud, Mija. Both of you. Marco texted. Crew wants housewarming. Make it queer-friendly. We laughed, plotting. Rooftop party, string lights, Elena's paella. But first, normalcy, grocery run, mundane magic of shared lists. Almond milk for me, hot sauce for her. The market buzzed, all's a labyrinth of choices, Jamie tossing avocados with flair. For guac, our first dinner party. Strangers glanced, some smiles. One stare lingering too long. But we walked tall, hands brushing carts. Checkout small talk. Nice day for love. From the cashier warmed. A microcosm of shifting tides. Homeward, bags rustling. We unpacked in the kitchen. Elena joining for impromptu lunch. Your mom's visit? She asked. I nodded. Next month. With Dad. Nerves flickered, but Jamie's squeeze steadied. They'll love the house. And us. Afternoon waned into errands. Hardware store for hooks, nursery for patio plants, Jamie's eye for color guiding, my practicality grounding. A near-miss fender bender on Flatbush en route home spiked adrenaline, Jamie's hand gripping mine over gear shift. Close one. But it bonded, reminder of life's swerves. Dinner was collaborative. Jamie chopping, me sautéing, Elena's seasoning with stories, Rose's kitchen disasters, laughs turning tears to joy. She burned water once. Elena chuckled. We ate on the porch, fireflies winking, talk turning tender, futures sketched in stars. Night deepened intimacy. In the attic-turned studio, Jamie sketched while I read, feet entwined. What if we travel? Follow Rose's map. Her pencil paused. San Juan first. Beaches she loved. Dreams wove, but a call shattered, my mom, voice tentative. Alex? Jamie sounds lovely. Dad. He's processing. But dinner when you visit? Bridge extended. Wobbly, but there. Tears pricked. Jamie's arms enveloped. See? Softens. The week unfolded in rhythms new. Mornings tangled, coffee shared. Workdays texting flirty memes. Evenings renovating souls. Jamie's vulnerability journals. My therapy calls unpacking closets. Marco's crew descended Saturday. Hammers light for shelves. Banter laced with toasts. To the dykes who built this. Laughter roared, but a slip. Lila's boyfriend muttering choice under breath. Tense stare. Jamie confronted calm fire. Love's not menu. Deal. He backed down, apology mumbled, and Elena's nod approved. Boundaries, Mija. Evening party ignited. Rooftop under lights. Neighbors mingling with family. Paella steaming. My sister arrived early. Baby on hip. Mom's proxy with stories. She's baking your cookies. Nervous, but excited. Hugs exchanged. Dances erupted. Jamie twirling me to Bad Bunny. Elena swaying with Marco. Rico even showed. Cigar holstered, gruff, nice setup masking growth. As embers glowed, Jamie pulled me to the hammock's edge. This, us, here, it's the unforgettable. Kiss deepened, world fading to us. But tempests brew subtle. A letter from Dad, Postmarked Ohio. Words measured. Proud of your strength. Tell Jamie hi. Yet undertone queried normalcy and doubt nipped. Jamie sensed holding tighter. We define normal. Elena's wisdom echoed in late-night tea. Doubts the dust sweep it. Strengthened we pressed. Visit planned. Tickets to San Juan booked. Marco proposed family pact. Monthly check-ins, no judgments. Alliance solidified. Climax crested mid-party. A neighbor, tipsy, slurring, not my scene, but Lila shut it down. Ours now. Cheers rose. Unity electric. Dawn found us cleaning, sore but soaring, Jamie's head on my lap. Ready for Ohio? Her grin. With you? Always. Love, we'd learned, wasn't flawless facade but resilient frame, cracks gold-veined, stories etched. The house stood testament, walls whispering. Endure, embrace, evolve. 2 weeks post-reunion. The house thrummed with settled life, its bones humming approval under our feet. Mom and Dad's visit loomed, a milestone marker, and nerves danced like dust in sunbeams. Would Ohio's heartland soil take root here? Jamie quelled with lists. Menu planned, empanadas for fusion, guest room fluffed, Elena on standby for backup tales. They'll melt for you, she insisted, but my pulse raced memories of Dad's quiet disapproval of my phase in teens, phases he'd said pass. Marco's final touch, a custom sign for the door. Casa de Corazones, hearts carved bold. For the walls to shout, he grinned, hanging it with ceremony. Party redux that night, smaller circle, Lila and crew, my sister FaceTiming from afar. Laughter flowed, but Elena pulled me aside. Breathe, Alex. Love conquers. Her locket swung, talisman, and I nodded, drawing strength from her survived storms. Travel day dawned crisp, autumn nipping Brooklyn's edges. Airport goodbyes tugged, Jamie kissing Elena's cheek, Marco's bear hug, but excitement bubbled. Flight south was cocoon, hands laced, movies shared on screens, whispers of futures. After this, Puerto Rico, you, me, sans Rosa walked. Her eyes sparkled, and turbulence bumped us closer, hearts sinking midair. Ohio landing grounded us in familiarity, flat fields goldening, air crisp with leaf fall. Mom waited at baggage, hug fierce, Dad hovering awkward but warm. Jamie, she said, appraising. The artist. Jamie's charm ignited, handshake firm, stories of the Reno disarming. Drive home wound through suburbs, small talk veiling probes. Big city life suit you? Jamie's with Alex? Perfectly. Eased tensions. Dinner table groaned under pot roast and sides, but Elena's empanadas bridged Mom's delicious, genuine spark. Evening unfolded tentative, living room fire crackling, photo albums passed. Dad's questions came sidelong. Met anyone else? But Jamie's tales of Rose's legacy, woven casual, softened him. Sounds like a hell of a woman. Mom teared at our intertwined hands. Reminds me of my sister, fierce. Vulnerability cracked shells, Dad's arm around Mom, then extended to us. Happy for you girls. Tears flowed, toasts with cider, and as night fell, Jamie and I retreated to my old room, posters faded ghosts. They love you, she whispered, bodies joining in quiet celebration, love's language fluent in the dark. Morning brought walks, fields crunching underfoot, Dad and Jamie trailing, talk turning to tools and dreams. That house sounds solid, he grunted approval. Mom pulled me to kitchen, flour-dusted hands confiding. Scared me at first. But seeing you glow, that's daughter I raised. Embrace sealed it, Ohio's heart opening like autumn leaves. Lunch stretched lazy, story swapping, Jamie's college escapades mirroring my rebellious youth. Dad chuckled at Reno mishaps. Sounds like my garage projects. Bonds forged in shared laughter. Afternoon free. We drove to the lake, childhood haunt, water's silver under sun. Picnic spread, Jamie skipping stones with Dad, Ripple's philosophical. Life's like that, he said. Throws curves but you skip on. Wisdom hard won, and Jamie's we will vowed. Mom's eyes misted, linking arms with Elena via speaker. Your mom's magic, Alex. Call bridged miles, Elena's abrazos, warming. Departure tugged, hugs lingering at the gate. Come back soon with rings? Mom teased, Dad's nod solemn. Flight home soared, Jamie's head on my shoulder. Conquered. Brooklyn welcomed. House aglow, Marco's text. Parents pass muster? Laughter in reply. Evening unwound in hammock sway, plans crystallizing, San Juan tickets printed, commitment whispers. Elope there? Her eyes danced. Rose's blessing. Winter crept, snow dusting brownstone like confection. Holidays blended traditions. Elena's parandos with Mom's cookies, Marco's crew caroling queer carols. Reunion echoes rippled Rico's card. Proud uncle now. Growth's quiet tide. New Year's Eve, rooftop under stars, we toasted resolutions. No more walls. Fireworks burst, her kiss igniting deeper. Bodies swaying to countdown's end. Spring bloomed, renovations anew. Jamie's studio expanded. My desk corner claimed. Trips dotted calendar. Puerto Rico dawned salty, beaches cradling us. Rose's presence in waves crashing. We traced her haunts. Old bar in San Juan. Bartenders, she sang here, your aunt. Stories layering hours. Hike to lighthouse, summit kiss. Forever starts now. Ring simple, gold band etched, RNEANJ, slipped on pinky promise. Summer sweltered, housewarming grand, families merged, laughter echoing halls. Mom danced with Elena, Dad grilled with Marco, kids chasing fireflies. Vows whispered amid chaos. Marry me fall? Jamie's yes trembled, joy seismic. Planning wove autumn. Small ceremony in backyard, Oak's witnesses, Rose's photo altar bound. Fall leaves turned, day arrived golden. Isle of petals, guests circled. Families full, love's loud. Elena's reading, poem of defiant hearts. Vows raw. You tore down my walls, built home in ruins. Rings exchanged, kiss sealing under arches. Receptions spilled joy, dances wild, toasts teary. Night fell, stars confetti, our bed awaiting, love's renovation complete. Years layered, house evolving, kids adopted, laughter filling rooms, Rose's tapes soundtrack to holidays. Elena aged gracefully, stories legacy, Marco uncle proud. Challenges came, losses, fights, but love's frame held, cracks gilded. In quiet eves, hammock sway, Jamie's hand in mine. Unforgettable, still. And it was the words that started it all. Mother's gift, blooming eternal.